Hi there. In this video I want to show you how you can demonstrate the capabilities of Cognex Designer 2.0 by creating a very simple demo application from scratch within less than half an hour. Okay, let's go. Let's choose a new project. We call it Demo Video. Cognex Designer is launching. And you end up in the Cognex Designer development environment. Now we want to start getting some images into our task sequence here. On the left side we have our components, we have cameras. I don't have a camera connected, but I can get images in by adding an image file device instead of a camera device that I don't have. So add an image file device. I call this device my image database, and we see it here. And also now in the toolbox under devices I have now my image database. From here I can drag this into my task sequence. I double click on this block and I can now choose where the images are coming from. So I could choose a directory where I would use all the images in that directory, or I can choose a file. So in this example I'm choosing a file, and I'm actually choosing an image database file that is part of the Vision Pro installation. The easiest way to go there is by using the installation path, which is %vpro_root%. Enter, and we are right here, and there is the images directory where we have all our image databases. And for this example I'm using an image database called coins. And with this button I can run this task. So I push the first image in here, and you see what we have are coins, a different number of coins in front of a white background. What I want to do with this simple application is I only want to count the coins, and I want to compare the count with an upper and a lower limit. And whenever the count is within these two limits, then I want to pass the image, otherwise I want to fail the image. I want to set up the vision tools, and I want to set up an operator interface where I can see the images, I can see the count, where I will get a pass-fail indicator, and also the operator should be able to set the upper and lower limit at any moment. Let's do this. So to count the coins we need a vision tool. So we go into Vision Pro tool block, we drag a tool block in here. We are feeding the image here in our tool block. I double click on the tool block so that I can edit the tool block. I can add a Vision Pro tool. So I use our Cognex tool. I pass the image into the Cognex tool. Double clicking on the tool gives me the edit control. And as everybody knows, we have to train Cognex first. Also some changes here. I only want to do a quick pattern search for the coins. I don't want to have the exact location, so padquack is good enough for this. I want to grab this as a train image. Go to train image, train one coin. Let's draw the region around this coin. Let's move the region 2. We train this and we are done. So if I run this now, you see we find the coin. What we actually do want to do is we want to find all the coins because we want to count them. So a few changes are needed. The run parameters, approximate number to find. We set this a higher value, about 7. I know this is a good value. And another thing is we are not interested how the coins look like. So we don't want to score using clutter. And because some coins are a bit smaller, we also want to allow for some scaling. So if you run this again, this looks good. So we can now check whether this works for all the images. And an easy way to do this is to use the sequence block and to undock it by just dragging it from the tab, and then drag the cursor over the square, which will dock the vision tool in the bottom half. So now I can execute this, and I see I did a good job. So I'm finding all the coins and all the images. Great. Next step. I said we want to compare the actual count against an upper and lower limit. So we need the count out of the tool block. For this, we will add an additional terminal to the Cognex tool. So the terminal you find under results, and here's a count. So we add this as an output terminal. Here it is. And we also want to feed this as an output pin to our tool block. Done. So now we have count. If we execute this, we see here we have an image with a 2, and here we have the count of 2. Great. Next step is result analysis. Let's check whether the count is within an upper and lower limit. This can easily be done with a script block. We drag a script block in, and by double-clicking, we can configure the script block. First thing we do is we give it a meaningful name. We call the script block check count. And then we want to use a few arguments. So we want to actually use the count that we get from the tool block from Cognex, which is an integer. And we also then we want to use a min count, which is an integer, and a third argument, which is the max count, which is an integer. And the return type should be a Boolean, and the return type will tell us whether we should accept or fail the image. I click on accept, and now I'm here inside of the script block. So now we need a very simple script that does a comparison. It's a simple if then else statement. What we're saying is if our count is bigger or equal than our min count, and at the same time our count is smaller or equal than our max count. In this case we want to return true, otherwise we want to return false. This is all that's needed. Here on the top left we can compile the script. It compiled OK. We can go back to our sequence. We see now here we have our configured script block with the 3 terminals, a count, a min count, and a max count. The count obviously comes from our tool block, and the min and max count we want to use variables because we want the operator in the end to be able to modify these values. Variables in Cognex Designer are called tags. So these pins, the min count, the max count, we will assign to new tags. So we right click and there is assign to new tag. We call this one here count.min, and we call, make it a bit bigger that you can see that. And this one here we assign to a new tag that we call count.max. And the output we simply assign to a new tag that we call pass. Perfect. In our operator interface, obviously we also want to see the count. So the count we will assign as well to a new tag that we call count.actual. Accept, and now we are ready to tackle our operator interface. For the operator interface, we go to the Page tab. So this is a whole page that the operator will see. We want to place a cog display on this page. Make it a bit bigger so it looks nice, so that the operator can see the actual image that's being inspected. Here in the lower right hand side we see all the properties from the selected element on the page, and we use this to configure all the elements. We have to define what we want to see in this display, so on the subject we can click on the gray button and select an image, which is also stored in a tag actually, and this image comes from our tasks, from the task sequence, from our tool block, from the last run record of the PM Align tool. Okay. So now let's check it out. We enter test mode, and yes, we see our display here from our Cognex tool, and a few things still need to happen. We want to display the count. We want to give the operator the capability to enter a min and a max count. We said we will create a visible indicator for pass-fail, and also I want to add a Cognex footer to make the whole thing look nice. Let's start with that. So here in the upper right corner, we start putting down our output. So we can, for user controls, we use a label. So this label will be just for count. We say count here, and this is a bit small, so we can modify all these properties. So I make this a bit bigger here. So this will be 24. That's fine. Then we can easily copy and paste. So I can say Control C, Control V. So I have another one that I will use for the min count and the max count. So this one here will be the min count. And Control copy, Control V gives us yet another one, and this will be for the max count. Max count. Here we go. So we can put them all a bit over to the right. Perfect. So to display the value, we can also use the same object. We can use a label. So I make another copy of this. So, but in this case, we don't want to display static text. We want to display the value of our count.actual tag. So whenever we want to display something dynamically, we click on the gray button. I go to my tag and I say I want to for this value I want to use my count actual. Okay, this will change as soon as we enter test mode again. For min and for max count, we want to enter a numeric value, so we use a numeric entry field. Here again, we increase the font size quickly, and then we will associate this value with our count.min tag. And the same, that's not what I wanted. I want to copy this here, Control copy, Control V. We will create another text entry for count max. So we have to associate this here with count min and with count max. So let's go ahead and do this. So this here will be a tag, and this will be count min. And for this one here, the value will be count max. Okay, done. Next, we need a button so that we can advance to the next image. In our toolbox, we have a button here that we can use. The text, we will display next image. So this is a bit small, we make it nice and big. So again, change the font size to 24, and to make it look nice, we use a different color. Let's make this a nice green button. Then we can do some more things. Yeah, we can make the text bold, and we can make a button with round corners like this, and also we can just drop a shadow. So that's a nice button. One thing still missing, we have to tell the system what to do when we click the button. On a click command, we want to tell it that we want to execute the task. So task.task.run is what we want to do. Done. Very quick and easy. So next step, include a pass-fail indicator. We use, just for graphics, we use an ellipse. What we are going to do is we make kind of a traffic light indicator, so a big round circle that will be either green or red depending on the result status of the inspection. And in addition to that, we also use another another label where we also print in text pass or reject. So this one here will be a big text, and this text here we make it really big. So let's say we make it 48. Okay, so now we also have to make this dynamic so that this changes based on the inspection result. So let's start with this one here. We want to change the color based on our result. So the color right now is transparent, but we want to make this depending on our pass tag. As you remember, the pass tag is a tag that we assign to the output of the script block, where we decide it's true or false based on whether the count value is within count min and count max. So that's what we want to use. And we want to associate different colors with this value. So if this Boolean is true, then we want to make this color green. And if the Boolean is false, we want to make it, let's say we make it orange red. That's good. Accept. Okay. And for the text, we want to do a similar thing. We don't want to just display text. We want to, based on the our pass tag, we want to associate this with either if pass is true, we actually say pass, and if pass is false, then we say reject. Okay, so all looks good. One last thing, we want to add a nice footer. And what we also have here, we have the toolbox, text browser, and we have template browser. So everything you create here, you can export it. It ends up in your templates. And previously I already had created a Cognex footer. This is my template. So now that I have this, I can simply drag this in and use it in my HMI. There are also templates for pages, templates for blocks. So whatever you create, you can export it to your own template folder and reuse it in future projects. Great, I think we are done. So let's have a look at the final user interface. So we can now switch to the next image. We have now, right now we have values between 3 and 4 is a pass, everything else is a fail. And let's see whether this works. Yes. So we have created now a complete application within just less than half an hour. It has everything an application needs. We created from scratch using an image database. We used some vision tools. We used a script block to verify the results and compare them against limits. We created a complete user interface with pass-fail indicator, displaying the actual image, giving the operator the capability to modify parameters, made it look nice with our Cognex logo on the bottom. So everything that you would need for a complete application can be done in very little time. Deploying the application is also very easy. So you would go project, you would click deploy, and you're ready to deploy this project to many machines. Thanks everyone for watching this video.